Hello. Right, so a little change up here on the layout, and I'm going to cover. George Williamson did a video the other day about trees, and it got me thinking. And I also got to making some trees again. So I'll show a little bit about the various different ways that you can make trees. I think that's what I'm going to focus on because there's so many different ways that you can do it, and there's lots of different methods. And I've pretty much been trying all of them. So yeah, I can kind of impart some of my experience if anybody's new to it, or even if you're pretty good at it and you want to disagree with me on something. But yeah, I thought I'd start here. So the little change here up on the layout is actually number one, I've weathered said tractor, which is supposed to be kind of like a little bit derelict, left there and on the track. I guess the guy's gone to have a cup of tea in his shed. I don't know. The background here is coming on a little bit. I've started to build out the embankment. Here you may see it's a little bit fuller, so I've done a few more trees, added a bit more colour, quite a nice variation in colour here. I've got various different types in here, so I'll cover each of those. But as an example, this sort of green one in the middle here is actually a hydrangea. You can just about make it out. It's more of a shrub, you know, kind of a small shrub tree. Small tree, shrub-ish, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a gardener, so there we go. This one here is using horsehair, again, just to kind of fill out the space. And in the background, I've got some which are using just straight seafoam with various different types of scatters. So I've tried to use different types of scatters to give it that variation and natural look. I think it's quite effective. The only thing is I've had different degrees of pain with the hairspray that I've been using, because when I go to move something up here, the hairspray is obviously stuck everything down, but as soon as you start really moving something, it all falls out. So that's just me from being tight through not buying a special spray glue from said manufacturer. Anyway, up top here is I think it actually looks really nice on that view. I wasn't going to have something there, but I accidentally put it there, and then I did a shot and I thought, you know, that actually looks good. And that's just a Woodland Scenics plastic armature jobby with, you know, polyfiber on top and some coarse foam and fine turf on top, which is kind of how I've done some of these other ones as well, but using just various different types of armatures. And you've seen my wire wound with this is air dry clay. I probably need to paint that a little bit more grey white than brown. And over here, this was glue with more of a well, it's actually my ground cover stuff. So this was actually the brown tile grout mixed with a little bit of ground turf from Woodland Scenics. And this here is a hydrangea as well. So you can see, you can kind of use, the thing with hydrangea is quite uniform in terms of, you know, that structure is the same structure here, although I have tried to break that down, make it less the same. So yeah, so that's a little bit of update on the layout. Not much else has changed. Trying to decide what to put here in this place. I've got kind of a broken tree there at the moment to try to see what that looked like in the scene. I think it looks all right, but I could do with having something else there. For those of you that have been following along, I have been going through all the locos and putting little stickies on each of these boxes where everything's a good runner or not. I've fallen foul of a couple of backmans at this point, specifically that point, but it does happen on others as well. So I'm pretty sure it's related to Hornby standard points and Batman locos. But I'm not going to bother to investigate at that moment because that will spend a lot of my time up. So I've got some trees in the making here. So here we've got another of the wire wound ones, and this is just using, you know, PVA glue to some effect on the branches there. Not overly happy with it. It's quite airy. I think it would look good on a bigger layout, but yeah. This is a seafoam one. In fact, just done this. This is a seafoam one sprayed with Hobbycraft's, you know, spray glue stuff, and then scatter on top with a bit of hairspray to fix it in. and this one was 2 hydrangeas. I was just testing out how to get hydrangea, and what I haven't done on this one is cut back the horsehair. So this one's using horsehair. This is just using straight seafoam and straight seafoam, and then other ones that I've done have got some of my own fake polyfiber. So these ones, this in here, that's just coming from either hanging basket liner or this material that comes with, I think I've shown this before, but yeah, you just sort of tear off little thin strips of it, and I've got absolutely loads of this stuff, and it's just as good, if not better, than that polyfiber stuff. I've also got roving wool. So roving wool, if you've not come across it, is this stuff. This works quite well. Got this from the chap at Sandling Junction, I think it was. I can't remember exactly where it was from, that tip. But I don't know if it's Sandling. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this works quite well. You can see it's kind of scraggly. So in places where you need a scraggly bush, or if you want to, for instance, I was trying to do it on this one. So this, I was trying to make a, this is one of those cheap ones you get off of Temu, the Armature, and I was just trying to sort of put, like drape some bits over the side for a weeping willow effect. To be fair, I'll probably cut this one. I'll probably cut this down here so it's a bit smaller. And then that will go probably on the wetland scene or around the river, as you'd usually see willows around rivers. So yeah, so that's a shop bought one there. George Williamson covered as well, if anybody's seen this, the quality of the seafoam that's going around at the moment, and yeah, it is pretty poor. What I would say is if you can get yourself a box of this stuff, and this was, what was this, £15 at the time, crikey, back when it was cheap. So this actually cost me, I think, £19, but this is from Brushwood Toys, which is a UK company, and they seem to, you know, if you can get hold of a box of this, it was pretty good stuff from, I guess, a couple of years ago, and that's what this stuff mostly is here from. Yeah, there's some scraggly bits in there that's still from the WWS stuff, but yeah, I'm making do with it. So yeah, you've got a couple of options. There's, from an armature perspective, when you build them out of wire, there's various different wire techniques. I'm not going to go into those at all. I'm not doing a how-to here. I'm just trying to sort of cover off some of the different methods and what they look like. But this is a wire wound one, which has then had was laid down on masking tape and then painted, and that just takes away some of the, as you saw on some of the other ones there, you can see the wire, but here obviously the wire's hidden and therefore you won't see that. The other way to do it, of course, is the coating it in glue. In this case it was super glue with the ground foam and tile grout, which looks okay. What have I got elsewhere? I did have somewhere. Yeah, so over here, so these ones, this is a bit different. So this is using hot glue gun. So you've got hot glue gun here, which is then glued it all together to build up the trunk. This is it without anything on. Then that's the effect, and then I sort of paint them down. This is actually a, what colour is this? This is a burnt sugar colour. Just an emulsion on top of primer, which works well. This is the effect of a, you know, it's kind of a bit of a work in progress here. You can see this is what I've done to cover it in this particular one in the masking tape, and that will then get painted. This is a kind of Scots pine look, I guess, but this is a Woodland Scenics plastic armature. So you know, you can make these look a little bit better with a little bit of colour in to them. You know, I think that actually looks alright. I don't think it's really got place in my layout, to be fair. A, it's too tall, but B, don't really get them where I'm modelling, so certainly not by the rails. It'd be quite way in the distance. So yeah, that's it. I want to just cover that stuff. I will also at some point do, I'm hoping to do a video on what happened to my 9F, my weathered 9F, bless it. Yeah, I opened it up to do the testing. It's what, 3 years ago I bought that, and it must have come, because I did get it for a pretty good price at the time. I think it was like 40 quid. But I guess the person that sold it knew what was going to happen to it. But you can see the state of this is the chassis. You see it's kind of bent. You see all the Mazak, and obviously I've broken bits off to when I was trying to sort it and get it off the wheels, because the wheels had all locked up. It wouldn't move anywhere. Real shame you can't get these anywhere else. They've stopped doing them, so I'm not really left with many options. I'd really like to find somebody that's got a mate in metalwork, or somebody, you know, like Peter Spares did a couple of molds of chassis blocks and things. You know, they've got the clout to do it and the contacts clearly to do it, so it would be great. I have written to them, but it'd be nice if there's an alternative. You know, this is not really good enough. There's not a lot of products, manufacturers of products that you just go, oh well, you know, that's okay. It's broken. Well, yeah, it is. So there's no factory recall on any of this stuff. There was no, you know, yes, it's public knowledge that this exists, but it's frustrating that we don't have a solution, or at least there's no spares provided for what essentially costs. You know, when this was bought, not by me, clearly, but when this was originally bought, the person that bought this would have paid, you know, upwards of 200 quid for this. 150 quid maybe at the time. There's not many products you buy for 150 quid that just are throw in the bin products, and that's just frustrating. That's frustrating for all of us, I think. If you're new to the hobby, if you're old to the hobby, you know, I think I speak for a lot of people. It is frustrating. Manufacturers need to do more. I know it's not their fault, but they could do more to provide. You know, okay, we're aware that there's a 9F problem. There's a T9 problem. This is a T9. So the T9, Hornby did give me a chassis for when I contacted them, but this one they no longer do. So, you know, they know there's an issue, but they don't do anything to help the consumer, and I just think that sucks. There's my rant over. I'll stop ranting. Not really me to rant, but I just think it needs to be said. It's just not good enough. Yeah, that was a good model, that as well, but I will try and do something about it. I will just keep an eye out at shows if I do get to a show eventually. I'll keep an eye out online. The trouble is the eBay market's got mental now. None of this stuff that I bought here is, I mean, most of this stuff is probably 30-40 pounds more expensive now than what it was when I bought it. So, and all right, some of them I've fixed, you know, bought them cheap and fixed, but you know, again, it's not great for second-hand buyers at the moment. So yeah, this probably won't, I don't think I'll see this one run again, unless somebody can tell me otherwise where to get this part. If you know your parts, it is S4275 is the part number, and that's, I say, I've been looking for it, and Peter Spares don't even have one, and usually you can rely on them to have one, but hey ho, I digress. So yeah, that was it. Just wanted to cover off some bit of an update, and some about the trees and what to do, what the various different ways to make them are. If you're interested in me doing, I don't really have the equipment to do recordings where, you know, people record them doing stuff, so apologies if it's just me ranting and then showing you around the layout. If I had like a, you know, one of the camera holders or something, then maybe I could do it, but I just don't have one, nor do I seem to get the time to put it on and sort that all out when I'm actually doing stuff. You know, if I get a chance to do it, I just kind of crack on and do it and think, oh, show it off at the end of it, you know. But yeah. One thing, yeah, what was quite interesting, I didn't plan for Mark 1 coaches when I was positioning the point rod in, so I had to move the signal box back just a bit to allow, you can see how close that is to the edge of the signal box. So, and then I've just been running trains to see what actually works still. So, yeah, I will do another update. If there's anything of interest you want me to cover, then let me know, or else I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.